guys, the Dragon's Dungeon is one of the most important areas of the game in Raid Shadow Legends. It's where you get your speed gear, it's where you get your accuracy gear early on, and it is still relevant even in the endgame because those sets are still really, really good. So today I am going to be giving you the best 5 poisoners, both epic and legendary, that you can use for Dragon, for progression, and ultimately to farm that dungeon and get the gear you need to make your champs even better and even faster, guys. Hold up! Click the link in the description below right now to get a free legendary champion, Bambus 4-leaf, as well as one amazing free epic as you level up. Here are the exact steps you need to follow. 1. Log out of Plarium Play on your PC. If you've never had Raid installed on your mobile phone before, the link will work there too. 2. Click the link in the description and start a brand new Raid Shadow Legends account with a brand new email. 3. Launch Raid and complete your tutorial. 4. You can find Bambus 4-leaf here as well as Ugo at level 15. This is an amazing account start in Raid Shadow Legends, so be sure to use my link in the description below right now. So without further ado, let's get into this list. Number 1 on the list is going to be Mr. Corvus. Corvus the Corruptor here. He is a very, very strong champion. I use him actually for a lot of different content. I have him currently built in Perception gear and in Pinpoint gear, 4-piece Pinpoint, which he doesn't really need, but it is there for the 10% speed mostly. Here are his stats, guys. He's coming in with 35k HP, 3.7k defense, 253 speed, as well as 421 accuracy, so very high on the accuracy and decently high on the speed. But what the heck does this guy do? Well, on the A1, he's coming in with a attacks one enemy with a 40% chance, books to a 60% chance of placing decrease attack for 2 turns. Basically, he is going to make sure that the bosses cannot hit as hard as they otherwise would because all boss damage is based on attack. So he's coming in there, he's doing some damage mitigation, which he also does on his passive, and we will get to that in a second. Again, this can be improved to a 65% chance using the Sniper Mastery, which we actually have on him right here. Increases the chances of placing any debuff from skills or artifacts by 5%, except the crowd control debuffs. So in all, with his masteries, we've got a 65% chance of placing that decrease attack on the boss. Very, very good skill. Coming in on the A2 here, attacks all enemies 2 times. First hit increases the duration of all enemy debuffs by 1 turn. Awesome. Second hit increases the duration of all ally buffs by 1 turn. So he's a debuff extender and a buff extender. All of that coming in on a 3-turn cooldown. Very, very strong skill. Keep your buffs up for longer. A lot of buffing skills are actually on a 3-turn cooldown. So if you've got a 3-turn buff duration, all those buffs will always stay up. You never have to worry about them falling off. That is a super, super helpful skill, guys. And then on the A3 here, attacks all enemies 2 times again, so 2 AoEs on this guy. Each hit has a 75%, books to 100% chance of placing 2 5% poison debuffs for 2 turns, so that's 4 poisons in total. After attacking, places a 25% poison sensitivity debuff on all enemies under 2 or more poison debuffs. Very awesome. So he's coming in with 4 poisons and then placing poison sensitivity, makes the champion under it, or the boss under it, take more damage from poisons. Very, very strong skill. So 4 poisons plus poison sensitivity on the A3. That's coming in at a 4-turn cooldown. Very, very strong. Then on his passive here, decreases the damage enemies under poison debuffs inflict 5% less damage per poison debuff up to 25%. So he's going to come in with the decrease attack, make the boss hit not as hard, and then come in with the passive, doing a further 25% damage mitigation, right? We compare him with someone like Korugar Deathbell, and Korugar has a 75% damage mitigation. So theoretically, you can have 100% damage mitigation. I don't think it actually stacks like that. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, Plarium, please fix that. But theoretically, you could do something like that. All right, so we've got 4 poisons with 4 poison sensitivity on a 4-turn cooldown. Then we've got debuff extension and buff extension coming in with a bunch of damage mitigation. Corvus the Corruptor, very powerful. I actually use him on my dragon team myself. All right, coming in at number 2, Bod El-Khazar, an oldie but a goodie, guys, an oldie but a goodie. Coming in with the A1, he attacks all enemies, heals the champion and all allies by 20% of the damage inflicted. So he's got a heal on the A1. I don't remember if that scales off of War Master, but considering he only has 1 active skill, which is the Malice skill, that actually puts out a lot of healing. He's one of the best healers I have on my account. Then on the Malice skill, on a 3-turn cooldown, removes all debuffs from all allies, places 2 15% continuous heal buffs on all allies for 2 turns, places 2 5% poison debuffs on all enemies for 2 turns. So he's coming in 2 poisons, 2 continuous heals, and cleansing. The dragon puts out 3 poisons and a weaken, as well as decrease attack. So that cleanse is going to be super, super helpful for dungeons, as well as poisoning through the waves. Guys, poison is one of the fastest ways to kill the dragon. Then on the passive here, Prey Upon all allies inflict 20% more damage against targets under poison debuff. So everybody is going to be doing even more damage as well. All right, guys, how do I have Bod El Khazar built? Well, he's in 2 sets of Perception and 1 set of Pinpoint. He's coming in at 59k HP, 2k defense, 264 speed, and 402 accuracy. You guys can see that I try to let my supports run about 250 to 270 speed for PvE content. I do not use this guy in PvP. As far as a blessing is concerned, I have him with Brimstone just for some extra damage from that smite debuff. He is running the necessary accuracy that he needs to place it on all levels of dragon. That is Bod El Khazar. I quite like this champ. He's one of my favorite champs on my account. Actually, I didn't see the use for him when I got him, but actually he's like, this is an S tier champion, and I think that's still true even here in 2025. As far as a relic is concerned, I'm not entirely sure what I'd put on him, but I think I would actually go with the new Live Arena relic here, Preserved Aberration, where we'll ignore 2% of the target's defense for each poison debuff on the target placed by the wearer just to get some extra healing off that A1. I think that is the best relic for him. All right, guys, what is next on the list? We're going to go in with some epic options here. Some epic options. First on the list is going to be Venomage. Okay, so Venomage, I have her built in 2 sets of Perception, a set of Impulse, and 3-piece Pinpoint. She's coming in with 43k HP, 2.4k defense, 246 speed, a bit on the slow side, and 387 accuracy. Again, enough accuracy to place the poisons on all levels of dragon. What does she do? Well, she comes in with the Toxicity A1 here. Attacks one enemy 2 times, destroys the target's max HP by 75% of the damage inflicted if they are under heal reduction. Each hit has a 35% chance of activating up to 2 poison debuffs on the target. So poison activation on the A1, and that, of course, books to a 50% chance. Again, I think we can get... Oh, man, I don't even have her masteries done. But with the Sniper Mastery here, increases chances of placing any debuff from skills or artifacts by 5%. I believe that applies to poison activation, but I'm not sure. It's worth running on her regardless. All right, then on the A2, attacks one enemy, has a 100% chance booked of placing decreased defense, big version, for 2 turns. Also has a 100% chance booked of placing a 50% decrease attack debuff for 2 turns if the target is under a poison debuff. Again, like Corvus, coming in with the decrease attack. All of that is on a 3-turn cooldown. Then on her A3, here's where the poisons are. Attacks all enemies, has a 100% chance booked of placing heal reduction for 3 turns. 3-turn heal reduction, awesome. Also has a 75% chance, books to a 100% chance of placing 2 poison debuffs for 2 turns. This is on a 3-turn cooldown, so a very, very short cooldown. You also probably want to do the Preserved Aberration Relic on your Venomage. And then on her passive here, enemies under heal reduction debuffs inflict 15% less damage, so even more damage mitigation, right? You can tell that our poisoners are not only dealing damage, but they are also protecting the team. We've got decrease attack, right? We've got damage mitigation under heal reduction. They're bringing heal reduction. They're activating the poisons. Venomage is a fantastic epic champion. I have mine +2 empowered, but no masteries there. Very good champion. For a blessing, I'm running Nature's Wrath with her. Increases damage inflicted by this champion by 2% for every debuff they place successfully, up to 6%. She's not a damage dealer, but it is a little bit of a nice boost. All right. Who else do we have? That is our number 3 poisoner. Number 4, Noct the Paralyzer. I like Noct the Paralyzer, and I actually need to book him. I need to book him and do some content on him because I think this guy is great. What exactly does he do, and what are his stats? Well, I have him built in 2 speed sets, a perception set, and 3 pieces of pinpoint. Can you guys see the common theme with these builds? Speed and accuracy on all your poisoners. All right, he's coming in with almost 52k HP, 2.1k defense, 228 speed, again on the slow side. Because he's unbooked, the only place I'm using him right now is Faction War, so it's okay, and 401 accuracy. What exactly does Noct the Paralyzer do, and why is he so good as a poisoner for Dragon? Well, he attacks one enemy on the A1 with a 50% chance of placing decrease accuracy. Decrease accuracy is a pretty niche debuff, but it is pretty good. You've got more of a chance of resisting those damage debuffs that the dragon tries to put on you. On the A2, here's where the poisons are, guys. Attacks all enemies with a 100% chance booked of placing sleep for 1 turn and 2 5% poison debuffs for 2 turns. The dragon is immune to sleep. However, for the waves, you can sleep the waves and crowd control the waves this way. Then on the passive effect, places 2 additional 5% poison debuffs for 2 turns whenever a sleep debuff placed by this skill is removed or disappears after an enemy takes damage, okay? So for your waves, you're going to go in, you're going to sleep everybody, you're going to place 2 poison debuffs on everybody, then your nuker is going to go and remove the sleep by dealing damage, causing another 2 poison debuffs to be placed, which is just more damage to the wave, which is absolutely awesome. Then on the A3, places ally protection on all allies except this champion for 2 turns, also places continuous heal on all allies for 2 turns. That's on a 3-turn cooldown. Again, protection coming from these poison champions. This is an ally protection buff. It means that 50% of the damage that allies receive will be mitigated and Noct will take that damage instead. Very, very good buff here, and continuous heals, of course, to keep the team healed up. But the passive is really, really why I like Noct, okay? It's Solemnance. Heals this champion by 3% of their max HP, and all allies except this champion by 1% of this champion's max HP every time a poison debuff ticks on an enemy. So every time an enemy takes a turn, they take damage from however many poisons, and Noct is going to heal your team back up. That is awesome, especially if you can get, 10 poison debuffs on the dragon, like we can if we're actually running one of these poison comps, right? Then 10 poison debuffs will tick, healing everybody by 10% or Noct by 30%. Very, very powerful healing passive. Whenever an ally is attacked while under ally protection, has a 40% chance of placing sleep on the attacker for 1 turn. Once again, very, very good against the waves. And then, of course, he has more healing with the continuous heal. So lots of damage coming from Noct on the A2. Lots of healing coming from Noct on the A3 and from the passive. Very, very, very good champion. Now, the next champion is actually one that I don't have, and it is on the lines of Noct. Along those same lines, guys. All right, here is what we've got. This is an Ogryn tribe epic champion of Void Epic, so a little bit harder to get, and that is Urogrim. Now, first of all, he just looks awesome, right? I love the aesthetic on this champion. He looks like a green vine gardener Ogryn guy. Super cool. Wish I had him. I'd keep him and I'd build him if I did. All right, on the A1 here, Skull Staff attacks 1 enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 25% chance of placing a 5% poison debuff for 2 turns. Awesome stuff. Then on the A2, removes all debuffs from an ally, then heals them by 40% of their max HP. Single target heal, single target cleanse, all on a 3-turn cooldown. Incredibly powerful for PvE content in general. Then on the A3, on a 4-turn cooldown, places 2 poison debuffs on all enemies for 2 turns. Also places 2 15% continuous heal buffs on all allies for 2 turns. So basically, this is the epic version of Bod El Khazar. He's got the exact same skill, but without the cleanse. Urogrim is super solid and super good for Dragon because you're going to be taking a lot of damage, so he's got the heals. He's got heals on all of his active skills, and then he's got poisons on both his A3 and his A1, so a very, very consistent poisoner here. That actually books to a 45% chance on the A1 of placing poisons on each hit. So very competent poisoner. I quite like Urogrim, even though I don't have him. He is one of my favorite champs as far as poisoners are concerned. Well, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Who are some of your favorite poisoners for the Dragon Dungeon? These are some of mine. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Who did I miss? All of that can go in the comments below, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I have been Felrus, sailing the seas of Raid Shadow Legends. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you come back, and I will see you in another video.